Hi, this is Michael, and this is my review of the Polaroid HD Professional Action Camera. It's the model XS100. These are all the goodies you get with the Polaroid Action Camera. First of all, you get an HDMI cable, and then this is the USB to USB mini cable. You get a little carry pouch for the camera with a little belt loop on it. This is the handlebar mount. And using this attachment up here, you can use either one of two connections to mount the camera to. First of all, this clip here screws onto the bottom of the camera. One of my complaints about the camera is that it uses plastic threads. But in any case, this screws to the bottom of the camera, and then the camera would snap into these connectors here, like that. These do seem a little fragile, and it wouldn't surprise me if these wings were to break off if you weren't careful. But in any case, you get a 90-degree angle and then a straight angle. You just snap them onto the attachment like that and then tighten it down, and then you would snap your camera into that. You also get a little key here, which is used for tightening this into the camera. Again, because the camera threads are plastic, I would not recommend over-tightening that, or you could be in trouble. Then you've got a helmet mount. There are a couple that you can use here. They also give you some adhesive pads to use for that. So that would attach like this. And then you can have a long strap or a short strap. For helmets that have ventilation slots in them, you could use this strap to attach the mount to the helmet and then use this pad underneath as well. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have a carabiner clip, and then we have this little strap here is what you would attach to the camera and then to the thing that you're hooking the camera to. In case your mount fails, this will save the camera from falling onto the ground and bouncing around, which is not a good thing. So I'm going to switch to my regular camcorder now for the rest of this review. Well, here it is again, the Polaroid SX100. Now you'll notice that there is a dome over the lens, and so I have noticed that under certain lighting conditions this dome creates a halo around the image that's being recorded. So that's not completely ideal. It's not a deal breaker, but it does become bothersome in some bright light situations. The back of the camera, this cap has a lock tab on it, so to take this cap off, you unlock it and then you give it a little bit of a twist to the left, and that opens up, and now you're going to have your SD card slot at the top here. This is your HDMI connection. This is the USB connection. There is a reset button here, and this is how you switch between HD and full HD. Any other settings, you need to connect the camera to your computer and then use the Polaroid.exe file to change the resolution and various other settings, which I will show you a little bit later on in my review. The camera is operated very simply by this button and or this button. When the camera is off, if you turn this button, slide this button forward to record, the camera vibrates, and then this light indicates that it is on and actually recording. When you push it back down to stop, the recording stops and the camera stays on. At that point, you can use this button here to take a still photo. You just push it very quickly. The camera does a quick vibration, the LED flashes, and you know that you've taken a shot. If you were to hold this down for about 5 seconds, that would actually turn the entire camera off. You can also hold this button for 5 seconds to turn the camera on. However, it will not be recording at this moment until you push this into the record mode. And then you do get a vibration and a buzz there to let you know that that's happening. So the operation is fairly straightforward. The one thing that I took a little trial and error was when you want to take a still shot, you only push this for just a quick push, a very, very quick push. And that was my mistake, was I was holding it for like about a second and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't taking a photo. Just a quick push. As far as the handlebar mount, which is included, I do want to show you that underneath here, this is a plastic thread in here. I wish that it had a metal thread. Consequently, when you're using the mount here, this is metal screwing into plastic. That's never a good thing. So you have to make sure you don't cross-thread it, and you have to be very, very careful. So this attaches to the bottom of the camera. If need be, you can use the key that they provide here or a coin just to give it a snug fit there, but don't over tighten. And then this clips into the mount. And you want to make sure it's in there good. And then you may also choose to use this strap to secure the camera and use the little loop here. You want to attach that to the mount itself, because if the camera comes detached, this is the only thing that'll prevent your camera from falling onto the pavement. This would go around your handlebar, you tighten this up, and then you can adjust the camera to whatever angle you need using the set screw here. When you attach the sports cam to your computer, you will find the following folders. And the Polaroid.exe file is how you would change the settings of your camera if you're using a PC. For Mac users, you need to go to the Polaroid website and download the application that will work for Macs, and you get that application and then you drag it to the micro SD card and put it at the top level. And then simply double clicking on that application will launch the interface for the camera. It's a very basic interface. You have 3 tabs basically. The photo tab lets you set the photo resolution, either VGA 3 megapixels, 5 megapixels, or 16 megapixels. And the photo mode, you either have a single, a burst mode, or a time-lapse mode that is configurable to take 1 frame each 5 seconds, 1 frame each 10 seconds, 1 frame each 30 seconds, or 1 frame each 60 seconds. The video options give you 2 resolutions for each of the 2 choices that you have. FHD gives you 1080p or 960p, and then the HD resolution gives you 720p at 60 frames per second, or 720p at 30 frames per second. And then the general tab is where you'll set your TV type, either PAL or NTSC. Power off can either be set to off, 1 minute or 3 minutes. Auto rotation, which is great, so if you have your camera mounted upside down, it will auto rotate the image for you. You can turn that off if you wish. And then the date and time set. Now I'm going to show you some actual footage that I took. I mounted this onto my mountain bike and just took a couple of quick trips around the neighborhood. If you have any questions about the Polaroid XS100, leave me a comment. I'll answer if I can. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.